Hi, it's Steve. Today we'd like to show you how to change the window pack on your range door. It's a really easy repair. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, we'll need to make sure that the oven is cool to touch, so allow it to come to room temperature. Then we'll begin by opening up the door. We'll block it open, remove it from the range altogether, and then we can change out that glass. So with the door completely open, we'll locate these hinge locks. With a flat blade screwdriver, just pull them away from the body of the range and push them right down onto the hinge. We'll then bring the door up until it contacts those stops, and then while supporting both sides of the door, tilt it to almost vertical. We can lift the door away from the range, and we'll set that on a suitable work surface, and we can change out that window. Now with the door on a suitable work surface, we're going to remove 4 screws from across the bottom and then 2 on either side. On this particular model, these are a number 20 Torx head screw. Now near the top of the door, you'll find the other 2 screws. Then do the same for the opposite side. Now from the handle side of the door, we're simply going to lift up on it, support both sides, push it away from the bottom, and then we'll just set the outer door glass and handle assembly aside. Now next we'll need to remove the single pane of glass that is just in behind the outer door glass. To do so, we're going to take these 2 end brackets off. They're held in place with 1/4-inch hex head screws. Do the same for the opposite side. And that glass is attached to these 2 smaller brackets with some adhesive tape. So we'll remove the single screw that secures those brackets and carefully lift off the brackets and the glass and set them aside. Now next we'll need to remove this inner shield. It's held in place with 6 1/4-inch hex head screws. Now use caution when lifting that panel out of the way, as the edges tend to be quite sharp. And again, we'll just set that aside. Now next we'll remove the interior insulation piece by piece. So make sure it's not stuck to the inner door panel. And then just carefully lift each piece out and set them aside. You can then lift out the old door glass assembly and discard it. So then we'll carefully place the new window pack into place. Make sure it's centered between the supports. Now we'll next put our insulation back in place. Just make sure it's tucked under the frame around the edge of that window pack, and then we'll put the heat shield back in place. And then we'll secure that with the retaining screws. Now before we put the inner glass in place, we'll want to clean the surface of that window pack. And as well, you may wish to clean both sides of that inner glass. And then we'll place the glass with the brackets, lining those brackets up with the slotted openings on that heat shield. And then we'll secure it with the 2 screws. Place the cover brackets in position and install the retaining screws for those. Now before we install the outer door glass, again make sure that the inner glass is clean, and once you're satisfied with that, we'll place the outer door panel over top of the door. So carefully line it up side by side. We just need to make sure that we pull that panel down far enough that the tabs where the screw holes are fit on the outside of that inner door panel. We'll secure it with the mounting screws. And then we'll put the screws in on the sides. Repeat for the opposite side. Now we can clean the outer door glass. And now we're ready to take the whole door assembly and put it back on the range. So just make sure that we line up both hinges. Make sure they're fully inserted into the frame of the oven. Tilt it down to a full open position. And we'll just flip those locks back up into place. And we can close up the door. And your repair is complete.